Joining me today, I have a very special guest, Faye Hall. She is an author. She's right from here in Winnipeg, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. We're going to get talking about her book, but we also have another connection with Faye, which I'd love to chat about initially. You are quite involved with Steve Bell and his music. Would you mind telling us how you guys are connected?
I am one of his administrative assistants. I started over 18 years ago. Very miraculous story about that, and it's in my book.
Nice.
and I've always loved working with him and Dave. They're like brothers to me. They've always treated me thoughtfully and kindly and very generously, in fact.
I love that. And we love to play Steve Bell music on our station, and always a fan of chatting with him. So you have a brand new book out. It's called The Alligator Under My Bed. Please share a little bit more about it.
The Alligator Under My Bed started with a memoir that I was writing. 2.5 years ago, I started the idea of doing a memoir for my children's benefit only. And Wilma Dirksen was doing an online course for that, and I joined up. But halfway through the course, my husband became ill. And I had to stop the course, and he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and he passed away within a month of that, which was devastating, of course, because it's the second time I had been widowed. I had been widowed before, so he was my he was my new start in life. Anyway, I finished the memoir after. It helped me keep busy in the grieving process after Daryl died, and I was able to finish my own memoir of my entire life, which was great. And I had it all typed out or printed out for my kids. And then I thought, what's the next step? And the natural step for that is to go into the art story of how I became an artist and how it developed throughout my life. And so that's what I did. I took that main story and added chapters to it and stories, and of course illustrations. There's over 100 paintings in the book to sort of illustrate how I came to be an artist. And the main theme of the story is letting God take control of your life and lead you through life. Because if I hadn't allowed God to lead me, I wouldn't have gone through the steps that led me to work with Steve Bell, because it's quite a interesting story. I was trained in advertising art, so it wasn't a natural fit for me to work as an administrative assistant. But the year 2007 is the year that I started working for Steve, in the January of that year. That's the year I married my second husband. That's the year we moved. We bought a house together, and we changed churches. So my whole entire life, except for having my children, was entirely different. It was like a second chance at life, and it's been a wonderful period of my life.
I really appreciate you sharing all of that. I would love to know, what kind of paintings do you do, and what is your most used medium?
I started out in oils, inspired by Steve's photography, of course. He went to India and Ethiopia and brought back portraits of beautiful people in the area. And so I started out in oil portraits, but I graduated to acrylics after I took an art class to learn how to mix colors properly. And from there, I kept going in stages and moving on. And right now, my priority is abstract.
Amazing. I love the journey that you've taken, and that it's all quite different. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Steve, clearly intertwined in so much of your life. I believe you said he even sang at your wedding and a couple of art shows. I would love to just hear a little bit about what that's looked like for you.
Oh, he's so supportive in everything I do. Like, he first said, "Go ahead, Faye, paint my work." And he even was in Bethlehem one time, and he took a picture of some doors on a Bethlehem street, and he sent that to me in an email and said, "You've got to paint this." And so I did, and it's one of the favorite paintings in my home right now. His songs have been inspirational, and a huge highlight was when he connected with Malcolm Guite at a conference in England, and they had become friends over the years and contributed to each other's work. And of course, Malcolm's face is one of those faces that draws you. And I made contact with a photographer who did many photos of him, and I asked for her permission to paint from her work, and she agreed and started a series on Malcolm Guite. So that was a huge thing for me as well. And then one day Malcolm Guite came to Winnipeg, and he was working with Steve on a concert, and we had a barbecue evening for friends and the group. And Malcolm approached me about doing a book with him. So he had this beautiful sonnet called 7 Whole Days, which he was hoping to have illustrated. He showed me a sample of another book, and I went even further and did one painting per line of the sonnet. So it was over 30 paintings. And we ended up having an actual showing at the Mennonite Heritage Gallery, and a book release at the same time, and Malcolm came, and Steve sang once more. Like he's sung at my mother's funeral, he's sung at my wedding, and he sung at my husband's funeral as well. He's up for helping out anytime.
That is so beautiful. You guys clearly have a great working and friendship relationship.
Yeah.
Have you ever painted Steve?
I did. And his friend Roy Salmon from BC has that painting.
Nice.
At first he
Not even Steve.
No, Steve didn't like looking at his face. And Roy put it in his bathroom for people to stare at when they go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love it. I love it. You do a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Steve in that position. How does it feel to be in front of the camera now, or even just with your art and this new book and chatting about?
Well, I have done things like this before. I started a card business with my girlfriend way back when, which failed in the end, but we did do publicity for it, that kind of thing. And also another book I worked on with Charles Mully. And I was in this very studio with an interview with him. So
I did not know that. Definitely know the name. That's amazing.
The Biggest Family in the World book that Paul Bogo wrote.
Yes.
And I illustrated that. And that was a huge, huge deal for me, because that was a lot of heavy-duty paintings. And we had a prayer team working with us the entire time. And that's why it's such a success. And it's been reprinted in many different languages all over the world.
Wow, Faye! I can't believe this is the first time we're actually meeting in person. I'm just thrilled and honored. If people want to follow along with your work or get a copy of your brand new book, how can they do that?
The book is on Amazon, all of the Amazons all over the world. So Amazon.ca if you're in Canada, of course.
Yeah. And
you just put in Faye Hall in the search line, or the Alligator Under My Bed. And the Alligator Under My Bed is actually my sister's fault, because as children, she told me that there was an alligator under my bed at night. And so I was extremely fearful during the night, and I couldn't put my hand over the edge.
Oh, man. Does she know that?
Yes.
Look what you've done to me. Well, it's a title that grips. Absolutely. So it's fantastic. And that's full story is in the book as well?
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Faye, it has been an absolute delight. I hope to have you back in studio, and thank you so much for making the time today.
Thank you for the interview, and appreciate it.